Hello, good morning, all of you. How are you? Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm good, ma. Okay, hi, all of you. Rakshita, Sanjay. Sanjay, you were not there in the last class, na? Sunidhi, Shweta, Likhita. First is always Prakriti. Very good. Prakriti, Chandu, everybody. Very good. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. Okay. So, what we did was last class about the polyploidy breeding. You remember polyploidy breeding properly? Okay, Zara, you know it. Good, good. Good morning. Neeraj, good morning. Aisha, good morning. Sumida, good morning. So everybody. Okay. So let's now give a briefing about what we did, polyploidy breeding. Polyploidy definition, anybody can tell me? Can you tell me what is polyploidy? Polyploidy. It is the increase in chromosome number more than diploid. It's called polyploid, right? Polyploid is increasing the chromosome number more than diploid by adding the complete set of chromosome, not just one or two, complete set is added, right? Increase the number of chromosome more than 2n with the n set. Haploid set is added continuously, not one or two, complete haploid set is added. It is called the n number is added. Okay, organism possessing more than 2n. That's okay. Because sometimes there is another thing where the chromosome is added is aneuploidy. You remember? Aneuploidy also is there. But in aneuploidy, one or two chromosomes are either added or deleted. That's called aneuploidy. Some of the wheat varieties and some of the sugarcane varieties are done with aneuploids. They're all having one or two chromosomes extra. Right? So it's good morning, Zoya. Okay. So we are not talking about aneuploidy in this, that is rice and wheat. But in terms of aneuploidy, I'll give you example of Saccharum officinarum. Saccharum officinarum is the plant, that is sugarcane plant. Okay. So let's now talk about the type of polyploidy. So the polyploidy in Saccharum officinarum. Okay. I hope you remember this. All these first PC syllabus. Our students I gave all in detail. When our students were there, initially when they started the college, we were talking about the fruits. Wait, I will show you the board. Wait. Okay, now it is see board. Right? So we talked about polyploidy. Now I'll tell you something about aneuploidy breeding. Aneuploidy is addition of one or two chromosomes or deletion of one or two chromosomes. It is called as aneuploidy. So it is done by Saccharum. In Saccharum, different species are there. That I'll give you. That is nothing but your sugarcane. Sugarcane is biologically called Saccharum officinarum. What we have is Saccharum officinarum we have. So in that you will get addition or deletion of one or two chromosomes. Okay. Okay. So what is that usually they do is in Saccharum officinarum they crossed with the Saccharum spontaneum, right? Saccharum officinarum was crossed to Saccharum spontaneum. Okay, this is a kind of backcross. It's an old one. So once they get the hybrid, no, this hybrid was again crossed back to the Saccharum spontaneum. This is how you got the good varieties. Hybrid vigor was developed in this Saccharum species. Spontaneum. Okay, done. Write down. Aneuploids are a type of chromosomal aberrations in which one or two chromosomes are either added or removed from the basic diploid set. I repeat, aneuploidy is a chromosomal aberration in which one or two chromosomes are either added or removed from the diploid set. Next, right? Most of the sugarcane varieties are aneuploids. The disease-resistant hybrid variety of sugarcane is the disease-resistant and high-yielding variety. There is disease-resistant and high-yielding variety of sugarcane is Saccharum spontaneum. I'm repeating Nisarga. What do you want me to repeat? It is developed by crossing, ma'am, last line of previous one. I don't understand my last line. I said aneuploidy. What is aneuploidy? And I told most of the sugarcane varieties are aneuploids. Sugarcane varieties are aneuploids. Aneuploids. Next. Saccharum spontaneum is disease resistant and high yielding variety of sugarcane. Disease resistant and high yielding variety of sugarcane that is developed by crossing Saccharum officinarum and Saccharum spontaneum. The hybrid produced is again backcrossed with Saccharum spontaneum Again back to saccharum spontaneum. Are you writing it? See, this is back cross. First it is crossed, and again this hybrid is crossed back to the saccharum spontaneum. The resultant hybrid is a sterile variety. The resultant hybrid is a sterile variety, but it shows high yield. But it shows high yield. High yield. Therefore, it is grown through vegetative propagation. Therefore, it is grown through vegetative propagation. Then maintained through vegetative propagation. Okay, so that's it. Now we'll now talk about the mutation breeding, right? So this is about the polyploidy breeding we have done. We'll now talk something about the mutation breeding. You already know mutation is some of the chromosomes are cut using certain radiations, or spindle fibers are cut using radiations. So we will talk about mutation breeding now. Okay. So actually mutation is sometimes occurring in nature. On its own it will appear. And most of the mutations are not expressing. They happen and they will not be seen in the plants. Right? Anything which occurs in nature without human help, they are called the spores. Because spores varieties, new varieties. And most of the mutations occur either in the vegetative cell, we call them as somatic mutations, or sometimes it happens in the reproductive cells. They are called as germ cell mutations. So either it is a somatic mutation or it is a germline mutation. And these mutations, I told you, they are always happening in the hybridized conditions. They will not express, right? Therefore, most of the time mutations are very small, very little mutations. Some chromosome changes happen and all in the plants, nothing is seen, right? If they occur in homozygous recessive condition, then only it is understood or it can be expressed. Homozygous recessive condition, you can see its mutation has happened already. Such ones, if they happen, they'll keep it as a pure breeding ones and they'll use it with pure lines. And if you want to multiply them, you have to do clones, cloning. You have to do like vegetative propagation, you have to multiply. See, anywhere, if you allow them for undergoing sexual reproduction, there will be change in the chromosome numbers. Right? If suppose one mutated variety is very superior, if you want to take the seeds and grow, they will be having again regular vegetative, they will be undergoing the pollination, fertilization, the changes will happen. Therefore, if there is one mutation which is recessive and it is benefited mutation, then you cannot allow them to undergo the sexual reproduction. You have to do clonal propagation, they call. Clones, you have to take them, vegetatively propagate under the tissue culture media. I'll tell you what is tissue culture later. Tissue culture means artificial media, you have to grow them, vegetatively cut and grow them. Right? Therefore, these mutations are very rarely happening in nature, but there are some which we are introducing. They are called as induced mutations. Induced mutations we do with the help of certain mutagens. So mutagens are normally certain radiations. radiations like the regular rays, alpha rays, gamma radiations, UV radiations, then infrared radiations. All we are doing it with these radiations, or sometimes we use certain chemicals. Chemical mutagens are like mustard gas and our colchicine, right? So you can induce mutations like that. Nowadays, grapes and other all the plants, they first take them and allow them to undergo mutation, and they start growing them, because you don't know, some benefits may happen. You don't know how mutation is working there, right? Mutation breeding has become very popular because very simple effort. Take them to the radiating lab, put them in the radiation, bring it them, then grow it. So it is like grapes and apple and all of them. They are growing like a mutational varieties, right? We don't know exactly what's happening. Suppose you want real polyploid and all, some work is there behind. Here there's nothing. Put it to the lab, put it radiation, bring them, start growing them. This is how mutations are more easily handled and easy to work with. And after mutation, they will not affect humans anyway, right? The only and the plants, the seeds, they will be allowed for mutation, then they can be grown. Okay, right? That is mutation breeding. Mutation breeding. Write down. Mutation is, how to define mutation? How to define mutation? It is a sudden, stable, and heritable change. Sudden, stable, and heritable change that changes the genotype of an organism. Yeah, play random also is right. It is sudden, stable, heritable changes that changes the genotype of an organism. That changes the genotype of an organism. These mutations most of the times remain unseen. Most of the times remain unseen. If the mutations are large, ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಿ phenotypic heritable changes ಇರಬೇಕಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ. Genotype change ಆದರೆ sometimes phenotypical effect ಇರಬೇಕಂತೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ genotype will change ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋದು ನಾನು. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? There will not be always effect seen externally. Right? Next, right? Mutations are normally unseen if they are small. Small mutations remain unseen or unnoticed. But large mutations can be detected. But large mutations can be detected. Next, mutations are unpredictable. Mutations are unpredictable. Unpredictable. Therefore, they may be advantageous or disadvantageous to plant breeders. Therefore, they may be advantageous or disadvantageous to the plant breeders. Next. Next paragraph, right? In nature, mutations occur spontaneously. But sometimes they are artificially induced. But sometimes they are artificially induced. But sometimes they are artificially induced. Next, mutations may occur. Mutations may occur in somatic cells or in germ cells. In somatic cells or in germ cells. Mutations that occur in nature in somatic cells are called spores. In somatic cells are called spores. Mutations that occur spontaneous in nature on somatic cells are called spores. Underline, it was asked 2-3 times in CET and NEET, not CET, NEET paper. What are spores anta? Spores andre spontaneous mutations that are occurring naturally or in the germ, in the somatic cell is called as spores. Next point, germinal mutations occur in the germ cells. Occur in the germ cells. Next, germinal mutations may not express immediately but are expressed only in homozygous condition. But are expressed only in homozygous condition. Next, if they are expressed, I said germinal mutations are only expressed in homozygous recessive conditions. Homozygous condition actually. Expressed only in homozygous condition. I am repeating, Ramya. If they are expressed, they are maintained by. I told you that time how to maintain them. How to maintain them? How to maintain if they express no in homozygous condition? Yeah, through clonal propagations and tissue culture. Through clonal, CLONAL, clonal and the cloning. Or through tissue culture. Or through tissue culture. Example, potato, sugarcane, apple and strawberries. Apple and strawberry. Next, I reading right, induced mutations. Artificially, mutations can be induced by using mutagens. Artificially, mutations can be induced by using mutagens. Mutagens. To improve the crops. Some of the common mutagens are radiations like, first one, short wave electromagnetic radiations. Short wave electromagnetic radiations like UV rays. Short wave electromagnetic radiations like UV rays, X-rays and cosmic rays. Short-wave electromagnetic radiations like UV rays, X-rays and cosmic rays. Second one, ionizing radiations like gamma rays. Ionizing radiations like gamma rays. Next, chemicals like, third one, chemicals like mustard gas, colchicine, mustard gas, colchicine, nitrous acid, nitrous acid. Next, write some of the examples for mutation breeding. First one, mutation resulting in high yield. High yield and disease resistance in barley. First one, mutation induced high yield and disease resistance in barley. Second one, okay, listen, I'll tell you. Second variety. So first one I told you about barley. So in barley, there is a high yield and disease resistance is induced through mutation breeding. Okay. See, these examples are very important for you in NEET. So first one I told you, it is the mutation induction. Mutated mutation, induced mutation. Induced mutation, high yield variety plus disease resistance in barley. Okay. Second one, you remember there is something done in wheat. Okay. Mutated varieties of wheat are two varieties are taken which are red grain wheat, namely Sonara 64 and second one Larma Rajo. You have to remember them. Larma Rajo 64. These were mutated and both are red grain ones. They produced the amber color. Amber and some light wheatish color, yellowish color. Amber colored wheat was produced. Right now what you are using are not red wheat. We are using amber color wheat. Okay. The amber colored wheat which is produced is Sharbati Sonara and Tusa Lerma. So from the Sonar 64, we have got amber variety, Sharbati Sonar, amber variety, and from Lerma Rajo, you have got the amber wheat. Amber is the color ಬೇರೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ amber color. Pusa Lerma. Right? You have to remember them, their names. So these were red grain. Andre chapati rotis used to become red colored. Sonar 64 another one wheat variety. Adu red color irutte. It was developed by Dr. Swaminathan. Then red variety of wheat is Larma Rajo. Right? ಎರಡು ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ವೀಟ್ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಚಪಾತಿ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಚಪಾತಿ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಟೆಡ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅದು ಆಂಬರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಇಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಲ್. ಆಂಬರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋಯಿಶ್ ಕಲರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ವೀಟ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೀಟಿಗೆ ಯೆಲ್ಲೋಯಿಶ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ತರ ಇರೋದು ಇವೆರಡು ಮಾಡಿಫೈಡ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ. ಸೋನಾರ್ 64 ಇಂದ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಬಂದಿರೋದು ಶರ್ಬತಿ ಸೋನಾರ್ ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಆಂಬರ್ ವೀಟ್. And Larma Rajo ಇಂದ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಆಂಬರ್ ವೀಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಪೂಸಾ ಲರ್ಮಾ. ರೈಟ್? ಈ ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇವು ಹೆಸರುಗಳನ್ನ. ಸುಮಾರು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಈಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ರತ್ನ ಜಯ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಗದೇ ಇರುವಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಬೈ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ರೈಟ್ ಅ ನೋಟ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂದಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ. ಅಥವಾ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಟೆಡ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೋನಾರ್ 64 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ರೈಟ್ ಶರ್ಬತಿ ಸೋನಾರ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? Right. So write down. Second one, what you written? Mutation was induced in red grained Sonar 64. Red grained Sonar 64 of wheat. to produce amber colored grains, amber colored grains are the mutants called Sherbati sonar, Sherbati sonar, sonara, you can say sonar. Continue it. Another red grained wheat, Larma Rajo, was mutated to produce Pusa Larma, which is an amber variety. Pusa Larma, which is an amber variety. Then, what to repeat, Prakriti? Tell me. Full sentence. Okay. And ಈ ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ರೆಡ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೋನಾರ್ 64 ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಆಂಬರ್ ಕಲರ್ ಶರ್ಬತಿ ಸೋನಾರ ಬಂತು. Larma Rajo also is red grain. It was mutated to produce amber colored Pusa Larma. ಇದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Okay? Right. Sonar 64 ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? Sonar 64, I repeat. Mutation was induced in red grains of wheat of Sonar 64 to produce amber colored mutants, amber colored mutant called Sharbati sonar. Called Sharbati sonar. Second one, you write. Another red grained wheat, Larma Rajo, Larma Rajo, was mutated to amber colored wheat, amber colored wheat named Pusa Larma. Pusa Larma. ಆಯ್ತಾ? Okay. Next, third one ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ mutation was induced in the rice plant. Rice one, it was mutated. This produced a semi-dwarf variety of rice. Semi-dwarf rice variety. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರೈಸ್ ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಉದ್ದ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ, ಅದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇದನ್ನ ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಪುಟಾಣಿದ್ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೇನೇನಿಗೆ ರೈಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಗ್ರೇನ್ಸ್. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಮ್ಯೂಟೇಟೆಡ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ ಸೆಮಿ ಡ್ವಾರ್ಫ್ ರೈಸ್. ರೈಟ್. What you will write? Third one, X-ray treatment was induced in rice. X-ray treatment was induced in rice to produce semi-dwarf varieties of rice. Okay. Okay, now listen. Another thing, see all these names you have to by heart, right? This is more of memorizing subject, right? Nothing much of the knowledge required here. Just remember, memorize, over. Their names you have to remember. Okay. Next variety, the fourth one I am giving you. It is again in rice. Okay. Rice, a new variety was developed. Actually, it was developed in Indonesia. In Indonesia, they developed, right? A new variety of rice from Pelita 1. Pelita 1 anta rice na they introduce gamma radiations. Gamma rays, and this produced something called Atomita, right? That's a name of that, Atomita 2. This is high yielding variety and it is disease resistant variety. Very important. Atomita 2 or ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. It was developed in Indonesia where Pelita 1 was the original rice. It was induced with gamma radiations. It produced a new variety called Atomita. It's a mutated variety, mutant we call it. It is high yielding and disease resistant. Okay, disease resistant variety, and it will be growing in more salt areas also, right? It grows in the salty environment also, salty sand, salty soil. It can grow well, right? So it was a new variety. Write down heading. Fourth one. In Indonesia, a new mutant variety of rice is grown. Mutant variety of rice is grown in Indonesia. New mutant variety of rice is grown named Atomita 2. Atomita 2. Full stop. It was produced by the old variety Pelita 1. Pelita 1 by treating it with gamma radiations. Gamma radiations. This new mutant Atomita 2, is high yielding variety of rice, disease resistant variety, and it grows in salty environment also. Then next you write. Did you write this? ಒಂದೊಂದನೇ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇವನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇದು ನೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. Example, write a note on mutation, reading ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಸರುಗಳು ಬರಿಬೇಕು. Okay. Then the fifth variety is developed in groundnut. Groundnut was mutated in Carolina. It was induced with mutation, and the new groundnut, the mutant variety, was having hard shell. In the sense, normally there will be like this, no shell will be there. Normally it will be, if it is very thin, it will break immediately while transferring, right? So they developed the hard shell variety, and which is thicker one. right? Thicker one. So this will not be spoiled or broken during transferring hard shell in groundnut. Right now, mutation in groundnut. Mutation in groundnut. In Carolina, new groundnut variety is produced, which has hard, thick shell, and it will not crack during transportation. It will not break during transportation. Okay, so that's it about the mutation breeding. But you know already mutation breeding cannot be induced in all the plants, and you will not get the desired results. See, I told already one example we have given. No, what is that? Raphana brassica. What was the failure in that Raphana brassica? Why it got failed? Let me explain you on this. Why Raphana brassica failed? Any of you can remember? Raphana brassica was a failure, right? Why it failed? Although hybrid was produced, I said it is a failure. How? Answer, where are you all? Disappeared. Yes, come on. Because it has a radish and root like cabbage. Oh yeah. Not only sterile. See, what happens is whenever you are doing pollination, cross fertilization and all, you don't know what is the output, how the genes cross over, combine and all. We can only see that, okay, there is one potato tomato. If I cross, I will get potato and tomato like character. What I want, I don't know, right? Because they are not reliable. Characters depend upon their genetic combination, right? With your expectation, genes may not recombine. You don't know, no? You know, during meiosis, undergo crossing over, no? The homologous chromosomes cross over. Which genes cross over, you don't know. Any gene may cross over and any unwanted result may be produced. Therefore, there are a lot of disadvantages in all these kind of predicted things will not be produced, right? Therefore, the new technique has developed, that is genetic engineering, right? So genetic engineering, you all have known it, a bit at least. So anyway, in future in biotechnology, I'll give you details of genetic engineering, but now concern this chapter, how much is required, that much I'm giving. Okay, so what is genetic engineering? You will have to locate which gene is responsible for expression of which characteristic. Manipulate that. Means like how we did in Human Genome Project ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ gene ಇಂದ ಯಾವ character ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಆ ತರ ಒಂದು genes ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ character ಅಂತ identify ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು that gene only will be cut from the desired gene, from the desired plant it is cut, introduced into the local variety at that particular area where it is accepted. Okay, this is our gene, this is a desired gene. Cut ಮಾಡಿ ಇನ್ನು cut ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಮಧ್ಯ ಬಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿಸಬೇಕು. This is called the recombinant DNA. Means cutting and joining the genes which are desired. ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ genes ಅನ್ನು cut ಮಾಡಿ join ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. That is what we call it as recombinant DNA technology or genetic engineering. Okay, so this process will be involving some enzymes. What are the enzymes? You have to cut the DNA. DNA ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚೈನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಪಾಲಿನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯೋಟೈಡ್ ಚೈನ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪೀಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಏರಿಯಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ we are going to use the enzyme restriction endonuclease. Nucleases are the one that cut the DNA. Endonuclease cut the DNA at the center. Restriction endonuclease ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಒಂದು ಎಂಜೈಮ್ ಬೇಕು. It is called the molecular scissor. ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡನೇದು ಅದನ್ನ ತಂದು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಸೀಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇದನ್ನ ಕಟ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇವೆರಡು ಅಂಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. Then there is an enzyme called DNA ligase. Two enzymes are very important in genetic engineering. One is restriction endonucleases called REN. Second one is called as the ligase. So let me give you some graphical thing, explanation, diagrammatic. I'll show you. You will understand it. Okay. So in genetic engineering is a modern technique it is. Okay. So we are talking about genetic engineering. So it is used everywhere, not only in plants and animals, humans, everywhere they are using genetic engineering. What they do is, suppose there is one plant. Imagine this is one plant. It has some beautiful red flowers. Okay, red flowers in bandide anta ikonde hengide red flowers. The character ne nange barbeku. Next idan tagobittu nanu I want to introduce into the chili plant. Imagine another plant, I have chili plant, but I want to find out which gene is responsible for this character, right? So identify in the cell which is the gene. This is the DNA, no? Identify the DNA sequence. Yava sequence of DNA color na control matte. This is maybe a gene for color character. Okay, only a gene and matra cut martini. Adake using restriction endonucleases ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಡಿಸೈರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ನಂಗೆ ಯೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈ ಜೀನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ DNA ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಈ DNA ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಈ DNA ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. DNA ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದನ್ನ ತಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಇದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಸೇರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ನಂಗೆ ಡಿಸೈರ್ಡ್ ಜೀನ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವೆರಡನ್ನು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ಪುಟ್ ದ ಎಂಜೈಮ್ DNA ligase. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದನ್ನ ವಾಪಸ್ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಜೀನ್ ಇದೆ, ಲೋಕಲ್ ಜೀನ್ ಇದೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಅಲೋಡ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ ಇನ್ ಟಿಶ್ಯೂ ಕಲ್ಚರ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಎರಡು, ಒಂದು ರಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ ಎಂಡೋನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಎನ್ಸೈಮ್ ಮತ್ತೆ DNA ligase. ಒಂದು ಕಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಜೈಮ್, ಒಂದು ಜಾಯಿನಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಜೈಮ್, ಇವೆರಡು ಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ it will not happen so simple. It will not take up, our main genome will not take up so easily the foreign genes. So what is done in genetic engineering is, suppose you identify the desired gene, right? Suppose this is a desired gene, cut ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. desired gene ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು desired character, desired gene ಇದು. ಇದನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ the host cell will not take this. I have to find out the other method which will transport this gene, act as a carrier. Those carriers are normally called as the plasmids. Plasmids are circular DNA fragments present normally in the bacteria. Normally this is found in the bacteria, one of the plant nalli. Plant genetic engineering ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Plant genetic engineering ಮಾಡುವಾಗ there is one plant called Agrobacterium. ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಬರೀತೀನಿ, ಸ್ಪೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಣಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. Agrobacterium tumefaciens ಅಂತ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಒಂದೇ ಸರ್ತಿ. ಅಗ್ರೋಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಂ ಟುಮಿಫೆಸಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಬಂದು ಸರ್ಟನ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದಲ್ವಾ, ಲೆಗ್ಯೂಮಿನಸ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ರೂಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಟ್ ನಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ನಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಿಂಬಯಾಟಿಕ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್, ಇದು ಮೇನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇಂದ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಷನ್ ಇಸ್ಕೊಂತದೆ, ಇದರಿಂದ ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಅಗ್ರೋಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಂ ಟುಮಿಫೆಸಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಇದರೊಳಗಡೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇನ್ ಜೀನೋಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ. It has some small circular DNA fragments. These are called as plasmids. Okay, ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು TI plasmid ಅಂತ, tumor inducing plasmid. Plasmids have the ability of independent replication. They are circular DNA fragments. They independently replicate in the bacteria. ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇವೆರಡು ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕಟ್ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ REN. ಓಕೆ, ಎರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಫಾರ್ಮಲಿ ಒನ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಓಪನ್ ಆಗೋಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಇವೆರಡನ್ನೂ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಡಿಸೈರ್ಡ್ ಜೀನ್ ಹಿಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂತದೆ. ಇದು ರಿಕಾಂಬಿನೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್. ಇದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ. This will multiply taking this. This is how our gene can be transported using plasmid, which is acting like a genetic carrier. ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸಿ ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇನ್ನ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ನ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಈಗ ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಡೌಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಇದು ಮಾತ್ರ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. Any doubts you have got in this? ಏನಿಲ್ವಾ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್? ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ತಿಳಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೌರಿ ಏನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ ಗಪ್ ಚಿಪ್ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾಳೆ. ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಗೌರಿ? ಶ್ರೀ ಗೌರಿ, ನೋ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್. Oh my goodness, you should get doubts. Genetic engineering is a very vast subject. It is. ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ಟೀರಿಯಾ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, TR ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಮಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋ ಇಶ್ಯೂಸ್. ರೈಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್, ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ರೈಟ್, ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? Right on. Genetic engineering is a modern technique to improve the crops by transferring one or more desired genes. One or more desired genes from one to another plant. 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 ಅದನ್ನ ಚಿತ್ರ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್. It has an advantage over conventional plant breeding methods. Conventional plant breeding methods. Conventional ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದ್ದು. It is a modern technique to improve the crops by transferring one or more desired genes from one plant to another plant. Okay? To improve the crops by transferring one or more desired genes from one to another plant is correct. Matthen doubt? Enillalla? Right down. It has an advantage over conventional plant breeding methods. Conventional ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. Conventional plant breeding methods. Because the introduction of desired genes because introduction of desired genes will help to predict the characters in hybrids. The characters in hybrids. Predict the characters in hybrids. Such genetically engineered crops are called GMOs. Are called GMOs. GMOs. Genetically modified organisms. GMOs. Are called GMOs. Next to right. Next paragraph, right? It is also called recombinant DNA technology. It is also called recombinant DNA technology. Recombinant DNA technology. Genetically modified plants are also called transgenic plants. Transgenic plants. Transgenic ಅಂದ್ರೆ genes transfer ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. Transgenic plants. Transgenic plants. Written. It involves following procedure. It involves following procedure. First one. Two distinct plants with the desired characters are identified. Two distinct plants with the desired characters are identified. Next. The plasmid from Agrobacterium tumefaciens is selected. A plasmid from Agrobacterium tumefaciens is selected It acts as a carrier, genetic carrier. It acts as a genetic carrier. Next, both desired gene and the plasmid are cut using REN. ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಈಗಲೇ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇದನ್ನ ತೂಕ್ಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು both the desired gene and plasmid genes are cut using REN. ಏನು REN ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? REN ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ? Yes, restriction under nucleases, correct. Restriction under nucleus. Okay, REN. And are brought together and joined. They are brought together and joined. They are allowed to stick to each other using ligase enzyme. Stick together using ligase enzyme. Ligase enzyme. Further, recombinant plasmid. The particular TI plasmid. TI plasmid. Recombinant plasmid or TI plasmid. What is TI long form? What do you mean by TI plasmid? What do you mean by TI plasmid? Tumor inducing plasmid. Okay, recombined TI plasmid is now transferred to the host cell. Host cell of bacteria. Next, bacteria is allowed to infect the plant. Bacteria is allowed to infect the plant. I said recombinant plasmid was allowed to infect the host bacteria. I am repeating. Host cell of bacteria Next, this bacteria is allowed to infect the plant cell and the plant is grown artificially in tissue culture media. Plant is grown artificially in tissue culture media. Then okay, done then. Now listen, what is the result now? They have done with this all now. What are the results of genetic engineering? What they have done by using genetic engineering? Right? First thing, they introduced herbicide tolerant gene in that. Right? So first thing, what is the achievement is they introduced herbicide tolerance. What is herbicide tolerance? Any idea? Listen, herbicide tolerance ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹರ್ಬ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೀತಿದೆ, ಮಧ್ಯ ನಮ್ದು ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೀತದೆ. ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೀತದಲ್ವಾ, ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ವೀಡ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ನ ಕಿತ್ತಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ರಿಮೂವ್ ದ ವೀಡ್ಸ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲಕ್ ದೆಮ್. ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಪವರ್, ರೈಟ್? Lot of people should come and do that. It takes lot of time. What they do is they spray something called herbicides. Herbicides ಸಣ್ಣ ಗಿಡಗಳು ಕಳೆ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಕಳೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಕೆಲವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದ್ಸರ್ತಿ ನೀವು herbicide ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ not only the weeds will grow, they will die, our plant also will get affected. Because ನಾವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ವಾ, so our plant also get affected. Therefore, by genetic engineering, you are growing those plants that have got resistance to these herbicides. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಹರ್ಬಿಸೈಡ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬೆಳೆದಾಗ, ಬೇರೆ ವೀಡ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೆದಾಗ ನೀನು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಏನು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹರ್ಬಿಸೈಡ್ಸ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ? ಸೊ ಹರ್ಬಿಸೈಡ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಟನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಪೊಟ್ಯಾಟೊ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ಬೀಟ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್, ಕಾಟನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲೂ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರೈಟ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್. ಹರ್ಬಿಸೈಡ್ ಟಾಲರೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ನ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟ ತಕ್ಷಣ plant will grow herbicide resistant. Artha aita? So herbicide tolerant gene. Right? The first heading, side heading, right? Some of the benefits of genetic engineering in crop improvement. Some of the benefits of genetic engineering in crop improvement are: first one, herbicide tolerance. Underline, through genetic engineering, some of the plants were made herbicide tolerant by transferring the gene for herbicide tolerance. By transferring the gene for herbicide tolerance. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಡಿ. Herbicide tolerance, they include some of the plants like cotton, tomato, potato, soybean, cotton, potato, tomato, soybean, sugar beet and corn. Okay. Second one is insect resistance. Insect resistance and pest resistance. Right? Now they introduced some genes in mainly cotton and other plants to resist against certain insects like BT cotton ಅಂತಂದಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ BT cotton ಎಲ್ಲ certain insects ಬಂದು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ball worm the whole cotton is spoiled forming the thick lump of cotton ಆ ತರ insect infection ಮಾಡ್ತಿತ್ತು ball worm ಅಂತಿದ್ರು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಇನ್ನ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಜೀನ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಜೀನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ when insects comes to bite it will produce some toxins in that the insect will suck that toxin and die it will not multiply that is why the insect resistant gene pest resistant genes have most beneficial things through genetic engineering in plants okay that is insect resistant and pest resistant genes. Through genetic engineering, the genes for insect and pest resistance is introduced. Pest resistance is introduced into plants so that most of the insects and pests will not infect the plants. Most of the insects and pests will not infect the plants. Example, cotton, tomato, cotton, tomato and tobacco. Then, okay. The third thing what they introduced was stress resistant gene. Stress resistance. Andre, some of the plants were allowed or gene was introduced so that those plants can grow in any high temperature, very cold temperature, no water, zero water, any kind of environmental stress they will survive. That is called the stress resistant gene. Okay, so write down stress resistance. Some plants were introduced with stress resistant genes that grow in all types of environmental stress. All types of environmental stress. That is high temperature environment, salty environment, dry environment, cold environment. Okay, done. Okay, one more last thing I'll give you. Fourth type. See, plants that are suitable for food processing. This is a very important thing you should remember. So certain plants were grown that are important, that are grown for food processing. For example, there was one plant grown. The plant grown name is flavor sour tomato. The name of flavor sour tomato. We can call it flower sour tomato. We can call it. What is this speciality? This tomato has highest shelf life. Shelf life ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀನು ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡದಂಗೆ ಆಚೆ ಇಡಬಹುದು ಈ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಅಲ್ಲದೇನೆ it after keeping it also sometimes so many times you have seen the hybrid tomato the apple tomato ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಪ್ಪಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಹುಳಿನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಏನಿರಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ಲು ಇರಲ್ಲ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್ ಹಾಳಾಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದೆ ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ it will have that tomato smell also it will have sourness also and it has high shelf life also ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ದಿನ ಆಚೆ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಕೊಳ್ತು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದೇ ಥಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಇಟ್ಟರು ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಹಂಗೆ ತಂದು ಬಿಸಾಕಿದ್ರು ಹಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಅದನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದು ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸಿಂಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಇದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಥ್ರೂ genetic engineering few plants are grown that stay fresh for a longer duration for example write this FLVR SAVR flavor sour tomato ಅಂತ ಪ್ರೊನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಸಾರ್ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಅನ್ಬೇಕು ಬಟ್ ಬರೆಯುವಾಗ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದ್ರ ಹೆಸರು ಇದು ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಸಾರ್ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ the new genetically modified tomato having more shelf life in the bracket without freezing more shelf life with the good flavor of tomato and sourness then this is one example. Second example is delayed ripening in mango. So when the mango get ripened, if there is production of ethylene, you know it, ethylene first piece helidini, ethylene is the fruit ripening hormone anta. So mango nalli ethylene ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮೆಚೂರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. They introduced a gene in which ripening is delayed by reduction of ethylene production. Understood? Write down second example. Delayed ripening in mango. Normally mango and other fruits get ripened faster. Because of the production of ethylene in the plant. We'll start. Through genetic engineering, the mangoes are produced with delayed ripening by introducing a gene for low ethylene content. Low ethylene content. Then okay, listen now, all of you. What I have done is almost 80% of plant breeding. Okay, but I don't know tomorrow I'll get class or not. That is why till here I'm going to include it in the coming test. Because after this we'll have to learn the modern plant breeding methods, modern crop improvement methods. It will take only one class, but still I couldn't do it today. So coming test ge ಎಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ all these conventional methods including genetic engineering ತನಕ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್. Modern technology of plant improvement you don't have. Still one more class I need to complete, 1.5 class I need to complete that. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ತನಕ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಎನಿ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಈಗಲೇ. ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಜಿ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ಏನಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಸರು ಏನಿದೆ ಬರ್ದಿರೋದು ನೀವು? ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಜಿ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಂಗೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ಏನಂತಾರೆ produced delayed ripening by introducing a gene for low ethylene content. Barrier Zara. Got it? Got it, na? Sorry. Produced delayed ripening mangoes by introducing gene with low ethylene content. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ ದ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗಂటే ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಈಗ ರೈಟ್ ನಾವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಜನ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ತರದೇನೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಡಿಲೇಡ್ ರೈಪನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಶೆಲ್ಫ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಟೊಮೆಟೋಸ್ ಆರ್ healthier to eat. Yes, they are very healthy. They are very healthy. Nowadays, what we are most of the we are using are those tomatoes only. They are all flavors. Flavor ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆಪಲ್ ಟೊಮೆಟೊ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪ್ಪಗೆ ಹೆಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಸೌತೆಕಾಯಿ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈಗಿನ ಹಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸಾರು ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಟೇಸ್ಟಿಯರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ ಫ್ರಿಡ್ಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡದೆ ಇದ್ರೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. That's what flavor sour tomato. Okay, flour sour tomato, flavor sour tomato ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ರೈಟ್. ಅದು ಸುಮಾರು ಸರ್ತಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. hybrid is good for health or natural ones. Listen, what we are doing you should understand. See, always we have resistance to accept the new things. ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೌದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್. ನೋ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದ ನ್ಯೂ ಒನ್ಸ್. ಹಳೇದು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಹೌದು, ಬಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹಳೇದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಮಾಡರ್ನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ there are a lot of new nutrients added and doubled the nutrients. The good things are introduced. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ನಿಂಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೆಲ್ದಿಯರೇನೆ, nothing like that. Okay, so don't worry about all those things right now. You have to go for all new varieties only. You have to eat, but costly idre haleyavu ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, right? Okay, fine then. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ತನಕ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆ. ನಾಳೆ ಇರೋ ಡೌಟ್ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಡನ್. See you, bye. See you then. Bye bye. Thank you dear. Thank you. Bye. Thank you dear.